What took you far too long to figure out? Electric toothbrush stopped on me this morning, just made this choking sound and sputtered out. I was freaking livid. I had this mouthful of toothpaste still and my toothbrush gives up on life on me. For a solid 30 seconds I just sat there fuming and ranting in my head. Until I realized an electric toothbrush. Electricity equals a regular freaking toothbrush. Sorry for the convenience. That when someone replies to see you later with not if I see you first, it means that if they see you first they are going to try to avoid you. I always thought it was just a cute thing to say : It is supposed to be a cute thing to say, sorry for your experience. If I said you had a nice body would you hold it against me? Isn't just about someone worried about blackmail or judgment. I was 20 before I caught the double entendre. How to use an electric shaver. For years either that I just kept buying crappy shavers because they didn't seem to work too well. It took way too long to shave and it fricked up my skin. Sometimes I would use razors just because I didn't want to deal with my electric one. Then one day I started shaving with the electric one and just barely touched it to my skin. Suddenly it started working like magic. I realized I was pressing the shaver way too hard on my face and that's why it never worked right. I never once thought about how hard I was pressing it against my face before. Once I did it very lightly I could shave in about half the time. I can't believe I screwed up something so simple for so long. I had a buddy who complained that his electric shaver never worked right. He handed it to me. I popped it open and a metric ton of hair dust fell out. He had no idea that it needed to be emptied. I didn't buy produce at the grocery store until I was about 20 years old because I didn't know the procedure for weighing stuff out and paying for it. I had no idea they weighed it at the register. I'm picturing a guy in his early 20s going to the grocery buying some fruit and veggies and having a mini panic attack waiting in line at the till because he doesn't understand how to do it. So there was a conversation on the radio with a man. I don't remember the details of it because this was probably 10 years ago now. They're really not important. Before I changed the station, I caught a sentence from the radio host to the guest. So you're basically the mail me a ham. Huh. I was like, what? First of all, it makes no sense. And the grammar is weird. It was like he had a severe brain fart or something. It was literally 2-3 years later when it popped into my head again, totally randomly, and I was like, ooh, that dude played soccer. So you're basically the mail me a ham. Huh, and this is completely inconsequential, but it was so satisfying to finally make sense of that sentence. I came home from work one day a couple weeks ago and noticed that my fiancé had gone to the store. I was hungry so I started checking out the new stuff that was sitting on the counter and I noticed a white box with a purse on it. It was the generic Target brand Up and had a word I have never seen. Pantalones. I started saying it in my head. Pantalones. Was it food? Why was there a picture of a purse on the box? Pantalones. What the frick was this? It took me a good 5 minutes to figure out they were panty liners, but I still don't know why there was a purse on the box. I'm over 30. This is a very amusing image. The purse is on the box because they are small and easy to carry on the go, in one's purse. The double meaning in the Sleepy's mattress store slogan. Trust Sleepy's for the rest of your life. For the duration of your life. For the sleep of your life. Makes so much sense. I don't know Sleepy's and with that creepy slogan I'm not sure if I want to get to know Sleepy's. Being colorblind brings you all sort of surprises. Peanut butter was green to me until I was about 12. I assumed blackberries were blue until I asked someone. That during mass, we're supposed to say peace be with you, not pleased to meet you when we do the handshaking part. Whoops. I find most people are lazy and just say peace. The abbreviation for example is short for exempli gratia and is used to mean for example. I think of it as example given. The abbreviation that is short for id estate and is used to mean that is to say, I think of it as in essence. I used to always mess those up. Example. Up until I was 18, I thought Dwayne Johnson aka The Rock was Rob Schneider in a bodysuit and that The Rock was just a joke character that he came up with. While working at a ski and golf resort, Dwayne Johnson came to vacation there and this is when I realized that he is an actual person. Bullcrap. No frick way this is a real thing lol. That seems like something that would be in a sitcom or some crap where the good-hearted but dull-minded best friend makes a comment about Rob Schneider being The Rock, and everybody else just stares at him while a laugh track goes off, and they explain the situation. In the song I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, I didn't realize until recently that the dad was in costume as Santa. I always thought the mom was a cheating W. I'm still not convinced that isn't the case, and the child is son of Santa. In Civ 5, the way all the resources interact with each other, the way manufacturing affects how quickly buildings are built, the way food affects how fast a city grows. For a long time I just played trying to get the best balance of food, hammers, and gold from a city as I could. One day just clicked. Sadly I didn't get any better at the game though. That's what I love about Civ though, you're constantly learning. 200 plus hours and I'm still working out the intricate mechanics of it. I know it's becoming a Reddit cliché, but the fact that a lot of people are improvising as they go eluded me for a long time. It's a nice realization. I don't panic about being forced to make decisions on things I don't feel completely comfortable with anymore. As a result of that, I've also realized that making the wrong decision isn't always the end of the world, either. If you have to fix something afterwards, just do it. Sometimes it really sucks, but the only response is to just get on with things. A couple days ago I realized this girl back in high school was really into me. I graduated 6 years ago. This is why I'm a programmer. I thought about it for a minute and I think I can sleep sound with the fact that I missed no such situations. That prunes are actually just dried plums. I'm 21 and always thought that prunes were their own fruit that always came in dried form. Oh man, raisins and pickles are gonna blow your mind. Boba Fett and Jango Fett are two separate characters. If someone mentioned Boba Fett I would think that's the Star Wars bounty hunter, and when I heard Jango Fett mentioned I would forget the name Boba Fett existed and think that's the Star Wars bounty hunter. I mean, you're not wrong. That when you sneeze people are saying, bless you, not, bless you. What's a blesh, you ask? Obviously what you say if people sneeze. I always thought when people said gesundheit they were saying Gesundheit, so now I say Gesundheit when people sneeze, and they say thank you. Nobody's noticed. When Kim Possible says what's the sitch, it's actually short for what's the situation. I'm 24 and just figured it out a few months ago. Call me beep me. Getting over myself. Life's so much more fun when you focus on life itself and whatever happens to be going on right now, rather than on yourself and your petty issues. That the reason I felt crappy most of the time was because I was dehydrated. It took me 19 years to figure out I have to drink enough water. I may be retarded. That being myself is okay, and if I'm silent and I don't want to go to big parties, it's okay. Not a tremendous deficit I've got to solve. Related note, back in school I used to hate big parties. Took me way too long to figure out that I didn't hate big parties, but rather the pricks at school. Big parties with cool people, friends, and their friends, tend to be awesome. Everyone has their own insecurities and their own problems. Thinking that I was the fricked up exception and that everyone had their crap together was crushing to my confidence in all aspects. What was a particularly odd experience was when I found out that people thought I had my crap together. That Bambi's mother was shot. Something in my 4-year-old brain couldn't process that someone would actually do that. I thought they were just separated or whatever. Fast forward maybe 10 years, and I'm reading a book that describes a character as the sort of guy who cried when Bambi's mother was shot. I sat there and stared at the page, horrified and incredibly sad, both at the realization itself and my own stupidity. Your spouse can care about you right up until the point where they break up with you, and after that point they can dismiss you like you're just another person on the street. I say this because I always tried to get some kind of closure out of my spouse after a situation like this, and you just aren't going to get it. So save yourself the heartache and focus more on moving on than finding out their motivations. Amen. Some people are so selfish sometimes and can just up and leave as if it didn't even matter. Spend way too much of my time wondering why they did it when I should have just moved on with my life. I am turning 26 next month and I just recently figured out that I suffer from visual dyscalculia. This explains why I have always struggled reading analog clocks, have serious problems differentiating between left and right, and don't know the numbers of the months. Up until now I just thought those things were really hard. I always struggle with those things and it's so embarrassing, and I didn't connect them before. I also have trouble doing basic calculations. It was super stressful being a cashier in high school. That the vagina and the urethra are two totally separate things. I'm a girl and I thought they were just all one thing until my senior year of high school. Yep. I will not tell you how old I was when I looked up at the moon and realized the reason we could see it is because of the sun shining on its surface. My wife has used Pinterest for years. One day, after being around her when she was on it for at least 18 months, it hit me and I said, "Oh, it's called Pinterest because you pin things that are interesting." Her response was something like this: "How to pronounce a lot of words. I read all the time as a kid, but I would basically make up my own pronunciation to words I didn't know. As a result, I learned a ton of words wrong and have been learning the actual pronunciations over the duration of my life." Me too. Normal for readers. That Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres have the Spanish numbers 1, 2 and 3 as suffixes. Seriously, I'm 23. I was playing Pokemon 10 years ago. Prefixes come before the word. Those are suffixes. That boobs only produce milk when their owner is pregnant. I was 17 and after fricking my high school sweetheart I remember staring at her boobs in silence for like 7 whole minutes, followed by "How do I get the milk out?" in all seriousness. I like how you covered your butt on your stupidity by also bragging about fricking your girlfriend. That I shouldn't take myself too seriously. I used to be a whiny, self-centered little prick who had to make everything about me and thought every little thing was a world-threatening crisis. That black people existed. Until I moved to America, I literally did not know there were people with naturally black skin. LOL. My boyfriend grew up in southern Bolivia, where pretty much everyone is the same color. Then he went to Miami, FL for university. He had quite the mind-boggling experience there. Men have feelings. They are not all out to get me. Not all of them just want sex. Quite a lot of them can love and love very deeply. I learned this very recently. I did not understand the joke, "Why is 6 afraid of 7?" until like a year ago. It took some article that turned children's jokes into posters that I finally understood that 7 was eating 9. I just always assumed 8 and 9 were backing up 7 and that seemed funny enough for me. It took me until I was about 24 to find out that on your car's dashboard, there is an arrow that points left or right to tell you what side of your car the fuel tank is on. It's not in all cars though. That the Washington Redskins play in Washington DC, not Washington State. Learned at 27 years when I visited DC for the first time, from my home in NC. That I have ADHD and need meds for it. Kept telling myself that I could do it without them even after being diagnosed. Was getting a 3.0 GPA before I was prescribed 70 mg Vyvanse, and now I have a 4.0. If you have ADHD, take the meds. They work and you feel great with the right dose. I had the same realization after talking to a friend about it. The test questions hit home. I went for a diagnosis and they decided against meds because I had good grades. I locked myself out when leaving for my appointment. I still don't know what to make of it. On one side, I'm natural me and I'm doing okay. On the other, I definitely put myself in crappy situations because of it. Goombas are walking mushrooms. I'm 30 and only realized it in late 20s despite playing Mario games my whole life. Just never thought about it. That it's okay if college isn't your thing right away. I didn't do well and lost my financial aid. I'm being shoved headfirst into adult life within a month and I've come to terms with it better than my parents have. Up until 19 years old I was convinced the wind chill factor was really called windshield factor. I live in Wisconsin. I've said this a lot. I can't love on a pizza delivery salary. Took me 2 years. But fricked up credit and bad renter's history can be fixed. Just started a new, promising career. For some reason I really like this typo. It's like you're incapable of being in a committed relationship because you're too invested in your work. Wish you the best of luck though. The joke. Why does Waldo wear stripes? Cause he doesn't want to be spotted. I still don't know if I'm dumb or it's just a really bad joke. How to spell necessary. I still frick that crap up from time to time. Was an English major in college. The burn is eternal. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.